Well, howdy, y'all. It's Frightman, and I am here to keep you spooktacular. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the 8-foot animated LED Boogeyman from the Home Depot. And yes, I am on a stepladder because he is just that tall. That is the ceiling. So let's jump right into it. So the first matter at hand is what's in the box. Speaking of hands, we have a motor mech that looks like it's going to be twisting him from left to right, padding for his arms. We have shoes. We have his delicious face. Just look at that. We have padding for his legs. We have support poles. We have the shoulder structure with another motor that looks like it's going to allow him to lurch forward and backwards. And last but not least, really big, it's all about that base. Now, the first thing that I experienced when I laid down the box and opened it up, the box is huge and it's heavy. And I thought, woo, this is going to be another one of those hard ones. But really, it is about the base. This base is extremely large and extremely heavy. And this is a tall prop, right? So that's just a safety issue. We don't want him to fall over and knock somebody out on Halloween. We're going to be installing his leg poles. I've already done the right side, and now I'm doing the left side. Now, one nice thing that they did on this that doesn't always happen is the pole on the right has the clip in the hole towards the back. This pole has the clip in the hole towards the front. So that kind of makes it impossible to get the poles incorrect. So now that we have the poles up, the next step is going to be his boots. His boots have 2 holes on the bottom of each one. And one of these, a larger one, is going to simply slide over the pole. The second hole is going to line up with 2 little notches that are here in the base that stick up. And what this does is this prevents the boots from sliding around. So with the leg poles in place, we're now ready to put the waist supports on. And those are simply going to go on to the leg poles. Again, they did the same thing to where on the left side, that clip and hole is towards the front, and on the right side is towards the back. So they did a really good job ensuring that we cannot get this incorrect. Now that we have those poles on, we're simply going to be sliding over the foam fillers for the legs. That's just going to fill it out. So when the costume comes on, he's got a little bit of meat on his bones, so to speak. So we have the foam over the left leg, and we'll be doing the same thing over here on the right leg. I did notice that the foam actually will go into the shoes. It's got quite a big opening here, so that we can go ahead and bring that down all the way into the shoes. So now we're ready to slide on his pants. The pants are just going to simply slide over the poles, go down into the shoes. The pants do have some padding in them as well. Again, just to give it that filled-in look so it just doesn't look like a flat pair of pants. So we have those pants going all the way down to the feet and all the way up to the hip structure. You can see here that the 2 poles that are going to be his waist, they're sticking out of the pants now. And we're going to be sliding his waist mechanism on here. So this is the waist mechanism, and it does have a motor with a wire, so it does appear that he's going to be turning left to right, and this is simply going to slide onto these 2 poles, and then we'll be using those push clips to lock this in place. So with the pants on and the hip on, we're going to be taking the pants and we're going to be pulling them up over the waist ring that is on the hip mechanism. So that is just to fill out the pants and give them a little bit of form and to keep those from getting caught up in the mechs. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take his upper piece of his costume, and that's going to be sliding down over this before we install his backbone piece. Now we've slid in that upper costume over the waist area. It does have a wire that's coming out of it, and that's going to be his sensor that's located here in the front of the costume, right there. Why they put a label there, I'm not quite sure. That's kind of silly. So there's a wire that's coming off of the sensor that's going to be attaching to the control box. The back is all Velcro, so you can undo it to make it very easy to slide on here. And the material is it's nice. It's a nice thick material. So this is definitely not a cheap made prop. So I got my trusty stepladder out and went on ahead and did a dry run. We're going to escape the roof by about 1 inch. And this is the shoulder mech with the control box on it. Standard control box, power, step pad and volume. And the power cord goes here onto the back. They do call for you to go ahead and put that on now, which is great. Not all of them do. So we're simply going to be sliding his upper torso onto the pole here and locking it into place with those clips. Voila! Now with the upper torso in place, we need to take the top portion of his costume and bring it over the shoulder piece here. Our next step is going to be installing the arms and the hands. The arms have hooks on them, so those hooks are simply going to go up here into his shoulder. And then the hands also have hooks on them, and those are going to hook onto the arm structure here. Both the arm and the hand does have a hole where it hooks in, and it comes with little clips that once you've dropped that into the socket, you're going to be putting those clips on, and that just ensures that nothing comes apart. So one thing I find comical is I am on a stepladder right now, and I do find it funny that they say a stepladder is recommended, because unless you are 7 feet tall, you're not going to be doing this without a stepladder. One final word about this assembly is there are wires on both ends of this. So this will be going into some wires in his back. And on this end where the hand goes, there's going to be wires in the hand that we're going to be clipping this to. The reason for that is that his hands actually light up. So we have his hands, his arms connected. Putting the arms on is a tad bit of a challenge, pushing the foam all up in here. I did actually undo the Velcro in the back and kind of pull the costume down a little bit. And then connect those wires up here in the back, and then connect the wires for the hand into the arm. There is Velcro here on the costume and on the arm, so they basically are going to kind of attach like that. So man, oh man, does this guy have a lot of wires. I flipped him around just so you could see a little bit about what's going on here. So we have the wires to connect the hands with. We have a wire going for the sensor. We have a wire going for the head. And then we're going to have to connect this rotating mechanism here with a wire as well. With all the wires connected, we only have a few things left, and that is going to be his backbone here and his head. And so both of these have the slots that we're going to be sliding the connectors into, and they both have the clips that are required to hold everything in place. So let me go ahead and put on the head. I'll put on the backbone. I'll be closing up his costume in the back, flipping him around, and then we'll get straight to the demo.
Ready, set, go!
It is time for you to stop running. There is no escaping me. But I offer you this choice. Allow me to torment you in your nightmares. Give in to your fear. Yes, let it fester. Fear fuels my power, and souls satiate my hunger. Are you ready for the end?
Now it's time for my final thoughts. A few words come to mind. Awesome, spectacular, amazing, huge, dude. He's got it going on. The guy is well made. He's very, very spooky. Price tag $199.99. Checked online for you guys. They're running out of them fast. So if you want one of these guys, you better get down to Home Depot. Be sure to check out my video on the build of the 2.5-foot skull from the Home Depot somewhere here. If you haven't subscribed and you haven't rang the bell, do that right now. Please. Until next time, my friends, stay spooky.